riding the biggest and most prolific wine cellar there is in Southeast Asia. That's the Yachts International Group of Companies in Clark, and running his own restaurant, Azzurro. He's an Englishman who studied in the most prestigious culinary academies there is in the United Kingdom. So really, with all of his credentials, we're very lucky that he calls the Philippines his home and that he decided to come back to Secrets of the Masters to wine and dine us once again. Tonight, we bring back Chef Philip Golding. Once again for Chef Philip Golding. Hi, Chef Philip. Welcome back to Secrets of the Masters. Last time you were here, it was a pity I couldn't drink because I was pregnant, but now that I'm not, I hear you brought some excellent wine.
Yeah, we bought 3 different wines. We bought a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand, Cabernet Sauvignon from Chile, and a Sauternes from France.
Will I get to taste them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But besides that also, you, if I'm not mistaken, gave me my first taste, no, not necessarily my first taste, of kangaroo.
Okay, yeah.
I remember that one. So are you bringing any more exotic or
we're going to do
different dishes for tonight?
We're going to do some ostrich from Cagandiora.
Okay.
Because the recipes go back to 12 years ago when I first came. And I also have a little combination of venison for you to try against the kangaroo, which is from New Zealand as well.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's going to be another culinary adventure. Okay, so let's not keep people waiting. Let's go start. The kitchen is yours.
Okay, thank you. So we'll start with an oyster. You remember Dong from last time? It's going to help us out.
Hello.
Here. So it's always good to have a cloth. So these are some Romblon oysters, yeah, and this one's just come out nicely. Take the top off, out. Go on, we can save the juice, nothing wrong with saving the juice, to use for a dressing later, or for cooking, or in a sauce. Save the juice. Scrape out, underneath there's a little ball joint. It's coming out there. Okay, so we've got a beautiful plump fresh oyster. So Dom's going to clean up and undo a few for me here. So we have 3 oysters, and we scrub the shells a little bit before to remove any sediment, so the juice is pretty clean. Okay, so we've got some flour and panko Japanese breadcrumbs, which we'll spice up with a little bit of cayenne pepper in there, and then we'll wax some rock salt. So that will be for the breading of the oysters. You can pre-blanch the oysters for a few seconds to get them fat and firm up to set the protein in the fish.
Okay.
Then you chill them down and then use them for deep frying. So if you want to get a nice round shape, if you want to spend a bit more time with them. So we always season our flour and then season after. Dong is going to prepare these to the side of me while I chop the bacon and cut the scallops into 3. What we'll do is we use a technique called rendering. You know what rendering is?
Taking out the fat.
Okay.
The oil fat.
Yep. But the rendering is actually bringing down the fat from anything to actually render it to get a nice cooking juice, oil element for whatever you're going to toss in there after.
Oh, okay. So without having to add oil.
Without adding, yes, it's quite natural, yeah. It's a very simple salad. What I'm going to do is also, we're going to do what we did last time. I'm going to invite you to do some plating with me as well. So I've just remembered, I'm going to double up my ingredients here for you. So there'll be 6 oysters. Dong is lightly flouring the oyster. Don't need too much flour.
And he's putting them in?
Put them in egg yolk.
Egg yolk, there you go.
Whole egg. Actually, normally crack the egg, whip it up, and then strain it so no shells in there, yeah?
Okay, so that the flour will stick.
Yep.
And now he's putting it into the rice?
Now he's putting it into the panko Japanese breadcrumbs.
So there you go. Chef Dong is playing around with the oysters, right?
Yeah.
Already lightly coated with breadcrumbs, egg yolks, and that flour mixture that you had earlier with the cayenne pepper and stuff. That bacon is cooking pretty good.
Yeah, well, the pan will just keep the heat for the next 3 minutes off the gas. and it will continue to cook. Meanwhile, end of the red onion.
Okay.
Yeah, so
while we're chopping that up, Chef Dong again is over here. You'll deep fry the oysters. Okay, deep fry the oysters. Okay.
So while the bacon's pretty much there now, Dong will also cook the scallops in there.
Ooh.
You notice I didn't season the scallops yet because there's saltiness in the bacon, and when they come out, so that the water doesn't come out, they'll boil in there. Meanwhile, I'll start on my dressing.
Wow, so many things happening at once. I hope you guys are keeping up.
I've added a touch of cassis in there, which is like blueberries. So add the fruit, citrusy. We've got some sharp vinegar, and then we've got some sharp red wine vinegar, a little bit of cassis, and then I'm going in with the walnut oil now. Normally it's 3 parts oil.
That's a beautiful color.
Yeah, and it's a really good intense flavour as well. That fruit looks the scallops and the bacon. Very summery salad. That walnut oil is fantastic.
Wow.
If you want to thin it down a little bit, you can add a couple of tablespoons of water. Yeah. Then I've got my red onions in there, white pepper, again rock salt, and a little touch is, remember that oyster juice we had?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm going to add the oyster juice, yeah, in there as well. So you really got that sea water in there as well, yeah? Instead of water, we got that natural oyster juice in it. So that's our dressing.
It's done, and I think everything is pretty much cooked as well.
Next, the mesclun, the lettuce, arugula. I'm not going to use the stalks, leaves. This arugula has a real horseradish flavour. In the last couple of years, it's become very sassy to have arugula in salads and on pizzas. These have all been pre-washed in salted water to take any pesticides, any small animals or creatures that may have been there in the fields, yeah?
Ah, so that's the secret to having clean leaves. Salted water.
Yeah, a little bit of salted water, and that will take out. What happens is you keep rinsing, and the dirt will drop to the bottom. You keep taking out the leaves until the base of the bowl is completely clean.
Okay.
So I add a couple of tablespoons of this beautiful dressing. Okay, so our dressing's pretty much ready. As we've got a fair bit of salt in the bacon, I'm not going to season this. The dressing's already seasoned. We've got a little plates here, one for you and one for moi. We'll sit that in amongst the scallop. Crushed walnuts. A couple of months ago I started in our pub garden, I started growing some herbs, really nice herbs. They're growing a dill weed, a light dill herb. It's got an aniseed flavour. Green. We have our beautiful little oysters. Now I'm going to finish it with, again, walnut oil. You can get hazelnut oil, walnut oil, peanut. So that's finished. If I may ask you to come up and help me plate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to do exactly what you just did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you some pomelo as well.
All right. Yeah. That little cloth.
You got near the scallops. There you go.
Ta-da!
Excellent, well done.
This once again is
A salad of breaded oysters with sautéed scallops and smoked bacon, finished off with a walnut and cassis pepper.
things going on in your beautiful salad.
That's it pairs very well with this New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, which obviously you can find up in Clark.
Number one, I love bacon. It's the first thing that goes to your senses. But the wonderful textures, also the dressing, that mustardy, sweet vinaigrette kind of thing going on. But the textures, the crunchiness of the breading around the oysters, the nice smoothness of the scallops, and the crunchiness of the bacon, and then that acidy melon with
Cassis, it's like a blueberry that's
Yeah.
in there with the walnuts.